Ready? So let's start the webinar. Okay. So today's webinar is for AngularJS and mostly driven into single page applications. So myself, I'm Rashikar, currently working as a senior tech lead into front-end technologies, mostly working for Johnson & Johnson. So let's come up with the session objectives. So right now in this session we're going to cover history of AngularJS, introduction and the features of AngularJS, why we are choosing the AngularJS as a single page application and its challenges, and few features and a framework of MVC and some practicals. And we include the practicals in 3 sessions: a basic demo, one small POC kind of stuff, and a real-time project. So along with that, the last these things we'll try to cover it in 1 hour, and then we have a half an hour session for the Bootstrap, where it will get a look and feel for the Angular implementation, what we're doing in the single page application. So yeah, when any concept is coming from an idea, as like anything, an idea is coming from and a need. So when there is a need, to resolve that need, we'll come with an idea, and for that idea we'll implement some logic and we design some technology. In a similar way, AngularJS born up, and it was developed by Misko and Adam, keeping in mind like there is a big boom coming in web method, web technologies. So before coming AngularJS coming to the market, it is mostly driven by JQuery and some other stuff, but there is no standards on the framework for that. So keeping in this mind, these 2 people from the Google have started developing this. So this AngularJS is followed with an MVC or mvvm, or what is that, and we can see in the next slides. But these are mostly driven into framework. And once they just started with a base project and really went well, and they started as a major level stuff from the Google, and right now it's booming the market. So yeah, when we have a framework with us and we have certain requirement from the client and all, then why we need to choose this framework? Why need to choose the AngularJS as a framework? And for my front-end technologies, here it comes. So before choosing, this is why I'm choosing. Before that, we should know what it is. Then only we know why I have to choose this. So let's start with what is AngularJS. So just covered with an AngularJS is a framework stuff, but why not a library? So what is the basic difference between library and framework? That's a base question comes up. So let's see what is the basic difference with an, sorry for that. So let's see what is the basic difference for that. Yeah, let's see. If my code is, suppose I have some functionality to achieve. So what I will do, I'll try to write an function in my local code. I'll try to get it resolved from a library where the service is already built up. So if my code is using such a functionality from a third party or something, it's called a library, so and so. And what is a framework? Framework is an interface, I can say. It's my own definition, like it's an interface between this, a code and a library. Say code follows the framework, I can say. Standards defined, and the framework uses the library. So that's how AngularJS works. What is AngularJS? It's a framework which is having a standard defined functionalities wrapped into your library. So our code always uses the framework, and have, which is the functionality given by default from the AngularJS, and start implementing. So we'll see what is the framework and what actually internally it is doing. So for this point, to get into clear picture, we'll see the next example. Next one, it's it's an open source thing. So if you want to modify certain things with existing functionality, yeah, you can do that. So AngularJS is an open source, and it provides a template language. What is template language again here? Yeah, it is a template language. What exactly it is doing, with an example you will get an idea how it works. Then yeah, yeah, why the basic one more thing is like it is coming with an dependency injection and data binding, which eliminates me a lot of code. Like basically AngularJS is built on an data binding stuff. It's a two-way binding. So yeah, AngularJS is a better two-way binding stuff with an open source and it's a framework. So that's a brief about what is AngularJS. Yeah, now we know what is AngularJS, a brief like what is what, and what is the history from the AngularJS. Now why I have to choose an AngularJS? See, when we are doing some, if you are most of you guys know some Java stuff, then it's like we can have multiple frameworks in Java side, like in Spring, some Struct and whatever. But coming to front-end technology, we have limited. In that, we are somehow not standard accordingly. So AngularJS is coming with an MVC done right. What is this done right? Yeah, because if you can see, Angular framework was designed by Google with an expert from that. So what they did is, see, generally when following any framework, what MVC will tell is like you have to split your code into components. What is actually MVC? What it will do is like it will split the business logic and the presentation logic differently, so that we'll have a code control and the maintenance would be easy. So if someone is unknown is coming and looking into your code, they can define what is what. That's how a framework works. So similarly here, what it is doing, it is splitting. See, generally what MVC is like, you just split the code, arrange it, and at the end you just relate it somehow so that they will communicate each other. Yeah, that's okay, but the problem is maintaining, like yeah, I have to manipulate so many places to get it interrelated. So a model, view, and controller should communicate with each other to manipulate the data or to display the data. So there is a lot of work coming up here. But what is actually MV is doing from AngularJS? Yeah, it is still ask you to split your code into different components, but managing the components will be taken care by the Angular. That's how MVC works. Yeah, so it is making the user work a little bit easier. Then you can see now in the screen there are two things. One is MVC and MVW. Let's come with MVC. Yeah, we know like MVC is a model view controller where view represents some CSS stuff or HTML stuff, where user interaction is directly hitched to the view. Then model, let's see what is Angular different. Then we have model. What will hold? It will hold the business data in runtime, and the controller which will hold to manipulate this stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you can see, there is a concept of services here which is pointed to some servers. Okay, what is this and all? Just keep it in mind, like in real-time example, I'll show you a live example so that you will understood what is. You can see it's an services with an Angular symbol A. So I think it's visible for everybody. So what is this? It's an Angular service. Okay, just mark it, remember. And this is a controller. What is this and all? We'll see. Because and these three things will be handled in Angular. So we are splitting it individually MVC, and Angular is taking care of clubbing these three. And how it is doing? Because image is very small, but if you can see, it's a two-way binding. It is written here. Okay, everything is two-way binding. So we are splitting the components into MVC, and Angular is taking care of binding these three together, all these three components together with a two-way binding. What is two-way binding? We'll see an example for that. Yeah, then what is MVW? I think most of I think it's newly word like model, view, whatever. What is whatever? Whatever could be a controller, a directive, a unit testing. Somehow tricky. Let's see. What is this? Let's see an example. So what we left with an example. Yeah, in example we have to see what is this two-way binding and what is this controller, directive, and unit case testing. Okay, just keep it in mind. Then one more question come, why AngularJS? Yeah, still I have a JQuery in the market. Why not to go with that AngularJS? There are certain things where it is not supposed to do, like an DOM manipulation runtime. And even if it is okay for some cases, but manipulating the DOM in every scenario it's not possible. Also, it's a big payload. payload and select yeah, code management, like it's like very tricky, and if you can see in the code, it's like an version, because if you want to do one small change, you have to do a lot of code. What is this? Let's see with a example what is displayed in the screen. The first box represents a code in JQuery, and the second box represents the same code in Angular. What actually these two things are doing? Let's come by line what it is doing. I just defined a p tag with an ID, and I gave an ID as greetings2. Then there is a script tag. What is doing? I'm just calling the jQuery stuff, and I'm just identifying the DOM which is having the ID of greetings2. In that, I'm just adding the text, hello Kratoes. So to do a small thing, what I'm doing, I'm just writing some 6-7 lines of code. Think that if it is a real-time thing, how many lines of code I have to write? It's a big mess. Keeping this in mind, this Google guys has come with an idea. Why can't we define a framework for this kind of stuff? So the same thing is done in one line. So what actually it is doing, I have a p tag still here, okay, from here to here it's a p tag and a p tag, and there is an expression here, okay. Think that it's right now we don't know what is Angular, right? So we'll take this is a variable, greetings is a variable. I'm assigning a greeting with a value. So for this value, for this variable, I'm assigning a variable and it will be displayed here. So yeah, I know, like it's like somehow understandable. Let's see an example. So I'll show you like line by line code how it is being executed, so that you will get an idea on that. Okay. Now, so we saw that yeah, we are completely avoiding the DOM manipulation. I can say that. Then we have a concept of directives. See, generally what we are having, we have defined tags from the HTML and we are using for certain reasons and all. There are cases where I just want to define my own custom elements or tags, and I want to use it multiple places. This provision is being provided by Angular. In which way? Yeah, I can define one certain functionality, like some blah 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 stuff. I can define whatever I want and then just create a variable, and I can use this variable whatever way. A variable here represents the tag. So let's see what it is doing. If you can see in the code, we also go with a live example for this, but let's see what it's doing here. Before going that, I just want to define, yeah, we'll see a small demo here and we'll see a real-time example. So how a real-time example is working out with a small demo. So we can map the understanding here and we'll map the same understanding in the real-time example, so that we'll understand like each concept with real-time uses. That gives more understanding. So let's forget about this line, because it has to come from the next slides. Forget about this. We don't know. I don't know. Even you don't know. Then what do we have? We have one tag. Think like it's an HTML tag. Okay. Then what I'm saying, if you can see w3 test directive here, also w3 test directive, and it's a camel case here, and it's like a small case, small. So each test, capital T represented here as -t, capital D is represented here as -d. So I think you got it. So we are defining a variable here. So app directive, we are declaring a directive, we are giving a variable, and what I'm doing, it's a template language. I told you before slides, AngularJS is providing a template language. It's a language of communication to the browser. So what I'm saying, I'm just creating a template, hello directive, made my directive, and returning to this variable, and I'm using this variable as a tag in my HTML to display the content. That's how. So let's see what it's doing in the real-time example. Coming to dependency, we'll see later. Let's see an example. Yeah, see, made my directive. What is this? So you just forgot about this. Let's see an example from a page. Okay, we forgot about this. I don't know, but we don't know this stuff also. I don't know. What we really concerned is still here. Okay, we are just declaring one tag, it's a custom tag, it's custom directive called. Then the same directive is a different like if it is W3 test, like I can do for your example. Let's make it very easy. Just reduce the complexity. I can do this. So what I have an W3 test, done W3 test. Okay, so capital T is represented here as -t. Then I have some blah 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 stuff. Let's see what it's doing here. Yeah, okay. Now we'll modify. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. You got it right. So what is, see, I can do it directly in other ways, but what is the use of this? I can reuse this component in multiple places. See, means I am defining one functionality. I can define one input box here in this template, and I can use this input box where I want. Like suppose, let's take an example. I just want to use define one text box with a mobile number or phone number, and I want to use this text box multiple places, because if you can see, like when you're designing some component, and I did same like a date picker, for example, and it has to be used in multiple places. Then I can define it here, and I can use it in multiple places. So if there is any change coming up, what we can do, we have to modify in only one place, and rest all places will get updated. And one more beautiful feature with this is, I'll tell you. Let's see an example in real time. This is a real time project for Johnson & Johnson, which we developed. Let's see. So, okay. Sorry for that. Oh, servers are down. Come on. Sorry guys, servers are down. I can't make it happen right now. What happened? Sorry. Right now the server is down. I need some time for getting up. Let's leave it for some time. Okay. See, when we which way I can show you? No. It's okay. Leave. Okay. So we have certain functionality, like we have some if you can see, like we have some 7 R&D platforms which are common across the company. What we will, like, there's some certain common components itself, like I have some header functionality, some login functionality, some filter functionality. What we will do is, like, we'll write some common directives and we use ecosystem. So initial development, it took some 30 days, then it's like 1 minute job for me. I just call the directive, then the component is ready. So my code development time reduced to 30 days for one component. It's a real-time thing what we achieved with a directive. Now, yeah, what is dependency injection? So we have certain components to get injected into our application. So what are those components? Like let's see, we have a service. It is good. In meantime, let me get my server up so that we'll have an idea, so that I can explain you multiple features. Okay, so what is dependency injection is doing here is, we will write, like suppose we have some drag and drop functionality. Okay, that is an external third-party library we are using. Okay, and it is having some directive. I have to inject the directive into my Angular application to get it work. So how it works, like I'll show you an example code. Let's see this is an, let's see what is this and all. It's a basic start from for the application. So what is this? Is an AG grid. It's an, if you can see also, you can get what is AG grid. Okay, it provides me to do a drag and drop in the table. Like I just want to rearrange the columns. So it's an library I'm using it. Okay, I just imported the library into my application. See, I just call library into my application. Okay, I download the library into my application, then I injected the service into my application, so I can use the service in wherever I want. Okay, so that's how it works. Let's see whether it is up again. And it's not up. Just give me a minute. Meantime I'll make it up. Okay, it will take some time to get it up. So you understood, right? What is a dependency injection? So if you have any third-party libraries or any other services as well, like I can write my custom services. Suppose if you can see in the above example, I have a service. It's a custom service. I wrote it to communicate with my server. Okay, and this service I no need to use in multiple places of my application. Some places of application I want to use this service, so I will inject that service into my that component. So that component have an availability to use all the functionalities in the services. Suppose, see, I have a service like to get the customer information, delete customer information, add customer information, something like that. Okay, and I have some other components which you want to use these services. So I'll define one variable for that service, and this service will be used into that. So what will happen? This will get an access to use that component. Okay, that's how it works. It's taking time to load up. Okay, then where we left it, we are covered. Now, what is a single page application? For this, we have one better example for dependency injection. Let's see what is this. It's a trading project. It's a POC kind of stuff. We'll understand what is this. Okay. So it's a bill service. It is doing a billing of certain components. What it will do, I have an concept of confirmation model, like I just want to show some pop-ups to be displayed. I wrote is a common service and I use it here. That's how I'm injecting a dependency injection works. Okay, then it's what is single page. Single page application is something like all the components and HTML pages will be loaded in a single page. Okay, so for this we also will see how it works. Let's start the server as well in meantime. It up. Okay, so suppose let's see, we have some to get any application to picture. What we'll have some CSS. We have some other libraries like Bootstrap or JQuery or whatever it is. We have to inject into some page. Then we have libraries, we have CSS, and we have HTMLs. All these components should load in one page. That's called single page. Why we want to go with a single page is, let's see. Yeah, when we are going with a single page, there is no refresh concept. Like I don't, there is like we are not refreshing the thing. Everything will happen the same page, right? So why need to do a refresh? Then yeah, better user experience. Everything will happen in seconds, and then it's So when very fast and responsive, user feels very comfort on that. And also do an offline work. What is this offline? That's a good thing in Angular. I'll show you what is this. What happened today? Everything is not coming up. Please come on. It's coming up. Good. Shit, it's bad day. None of my servers are responding. Let me close certain things. Shit. Okay. Meantime, let's see what is this. Okay, we have one more small demo for that, so that in that I can explain you. Let's see what to do because none of my servers are not responding. When we do this, yeah, let's see what actually single page application is. I told you, right? We will load all the components into our page. So when we have certain things coming up, and this is the best example, and see this as well. Yeah, good. See, what we did, we loaded Angular library, we load animate library, sanitize, bootstrap, our component, and some CSS. These we loaded into application, and everything is there. Nothing is there, right? See, nothing is there. What we did, everything is loaded into my system. See, it is loaded into browser. So what will happen? See, if the same application is being used by hundreds of users, they will load their components into the browser. So each browser acts as an independent server or some certain application, like it's an independent application to each user. So if you are using thousands of users also, you don't have any load because everything is loaded into your browser. And one good advantage is, still, if there is no HTTP calls, then you can do an offline job. Like you can browse to the data, you can manipulate certain data because everything is offline. You got the point, right? So what is this? Like no page refresh, better user experience, like you very fast and responsive, and you are able to work offline. Along with that, we have small drawbacks as well. What are these? More complexity to build. I don't believe on that because if you design that in well formatted way, then it's not complex to build. It's easy. Then initial load is, yeah, when we are loading a big amount of libraries, then it's very big. But this slightly can be avoided. We have two things like AngularJS is a library, AngularMin.js is a library. So what it will do is the min.js will reduce the load, like it's like a small file. Size matters here. So it prefer to use AngularMin.js when it comes to the production stuff, something like that. Okay, so that is also slightly avoidable. Then uh, to open an application, we need more resources. Yeah, somehow, yeah, because we are loading so many dependencies, right? And client should have JavaScript enabled, means browser should enable with the JavaScript, but I don't think there's a con because in most of the places, in most of browsers nowadays, like JavaScript is by default enabled, so it's not because if you can compare to advantages, disadvantages are very minor since we have to show some certain things, right? So this can be considered a disadvantage. I don't think so. These are disadvantages, but simple highlights. Okay. Now, what are the features of AngularJS? Now I know like what is AngularJS, why AngularJS, and what is single page application, and now what are the features. Yeah, with AngularJS, what I can achieve: data binding and fast loading. Fast loading we have seen, like once everything's loaded in the system, everything, because it will be has a local application, like a local host, it will be here, even it's an online application. What is data binding? That's a very beautiful concept. Let's come up with that. We'll see a small example for that. Then simplified MVC pattern, I show you. MVC is a good MVC, and it will be manipulated. It will be managed by AngularJS with data binding. Again, it's a data binding concept. Cross-platform compatibility, yeah, it will work in multiple platforms. As in, mostly it will has a native applications as well. Okay, and simple and expressive. What is simple and expressive? Yeah, if you can see a DOM application for jQuery and Angular behave very easy. Speed and performance, again, it's the same concept, like everything, since everything is loaded into your machine, it will behave as a local host application. Since it will behave as a local host application, if many users can act upon it, it will behave as their own application. Since all the components will be loaded into the user browser, right? So each user will have their browser dependencies loaded. So that's how, like, each and everything is interrelated. Flexible development, since it follows an write MVC pattern, it is very easy to develop. So we have to follow the structure, and it will help us to development very easily. And finally, it's a single page application. So this how we can achieve the thing. Yeah, in order to achieve this, we have certain features from AngularJS. Yeah, these are the features we can achieve from AngularJS. In order to achieve these features from AngularJS, what are the features provided by the AngularJS? Let's see those things. Yeah, these are some high level stuff and very important in AngularJS. Those are called expressions, directives, modules. We'll try to cover most of them. Yeah, I think we have covered template stuff. There's a basics template, but there are some other concepts from templates we can see in the live classes. So we'll cover most of stuffs in this. Okay, it's very nice concept. Let's see if some server is coming up or not. What a bad day it is. None of my sites up. Please respond. Sorry for that, guys. Good, this is up. Understood. Even before the end of the demo, I'll show you a real-time example. So I'll map everything in that example. It will take some time to get it up. So let's shut down for a while and start it up. Come on. That's good. Okay. It will take at least 5-10 minutes to get it up. Let's see what is data binding. Yeah, let's come into the beautiful concept of data binding, which AngularJS works on. When you see in the data binding in AngularJS, there are two data bindings. One is an custom thing, and one is like user directive, and one is like an other thing which is provided by the Angular. So let's see what is this. Let's see the complete concept with a small example to get a better picture. What is this? Okay. Let's see this. See, just before we saw like there is a DOM manipulation in jQuery, but see here how fast and responsive the Angular works, and there is no DOM manipulation here. What we are doing is a two-way binding. What actually two-way binding? Let's see. Let's try to edit this example so we'll understand what is actually. Okay. First, what we'll do is like we'll understand what is data binding, which is a two-way binding. Then we'll understand what is the structure of defining this. Like till before, like what we did is we just avoiding the other stuff. And also we'll try to understand what is this, okay, in the next demo. So in this demo, what is happening is we just define a variable called an ng model. What is this? It's a directive. Let's see the directive concept in the next example. Okay, this is a variable and I'm using the variable here. So it's in the controller and it is in the view. So these are two-way binding. Like an AngularJS is doing this like with a two-way binding, like a controller and a view are communicating with each other. That's the concept of MVC here. So what actually it is doing is whatever I'm giving, it is displaying here. Okay, that's how it is. It's a two-way binding with a model, and we'll see the model with a scope. What actually is scope, a model, and then a two-way binding. As of now, a two-way binding is a kind of stuff where it will interact between the view and the controller with AngularJS. Okay, that's an MVC one layer. So that's how the concept of two-way binding, data binding with a two-way binding. Then we'll cover up this data binding stuff in complete example of next slide. And we have one more slide called filter. One more beautiful concept from filter is like we can filter the data in multiple ways. So what is actually a filter do? A filter will do an DOM manipulation also, yeah, somehow, and it will do some order by or some like an lower uppercase, limit to, date, filter, what and all this. Yeah, it's an, let's try to understand from the example to get a good idea. Not this. Come on. Yeah, this up. See, first we'll try to understand with two-way splitting. Let's split the application for our best. Let's see some examples in. Come on. Yeah. What we will do first an order by for our basic understanding. Then let's come into this. Yeah. Okay. What actually is in order by is in a filter. Still, we haven't gone through what is this and all, right? So let's cover up the functionalities, then we'll relate each other. Okay. So right now we have seen what is two-way bending. Now we are looking into filters. What is filters? A filter is a stuff which will do certain functionalities on the DOM. Okay. So I just want to do an order by on an array. So what I have, and I have an array with a set of users and the rest of the country. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing an order by users. So what is doing? If Raja Rani, right? So I'll keep some Jad here. So right now what is displaying? Raja first and Rani second. Then what is displaying? Okay, so it is doing order by Raja, because in the array Jad is first, but it is displaying by Raja. I can do a reverse descending as well. I just kept minus over there, and it is doing an order reverse order. See how simple it is. Like it's everything is predefined, and we are just using it. So it's called a framework. That's how I can relate. And let's see what else is there. Now we'll look into below part. We just covered the order by, right? What actually filter is doing? This is one more beautiful concept. What I can say. Let's see this. What actually is doing? I'm just giving some information. I have an array. I just want to search on the information. Like I have some 1,000 records. I want to search on top of that. I just want to search India. See, there is a user which belongs to India. Okay, then I just want to see who starts ends with Ja, Raja, ends with Ja. Okay, so that's how it works. So filter, it's a one basic feature from Angular. So filter is a one functionality from filters concept. Okay, that's not actual filter. Filter, order by, uppercase, lowercase. These are the features from filtering stuff. Now, understood. Like still we didn't cover the basic body part of Angular. Why just kept is because we just want to know what are the features. Then we have an enthusiasm like how it works. Now I just want to know like this. I just want to build this application. Then how I have to start with. Now at this stage I can suggest to go with yeah. Let's see. Let's start from here. One by one we'll cover. We have doc type of HTML. It can be XHTML as well. Okay, and we all know this, and we start from this line. What I'm doing is I'm just grabbing one min.js. Okay, it could be an offline and it could be online. I'm just including till here. I'm doing a thing. I'm just including my Angular library into my HTML. Why I'm doing this? I'll show an example why I'm doing this. Okay. Let's for time being I just load it into my application, and let's forget about this. Don't think about that. I don't know what this is. Okay, let's leave it. And we have a body. Forget about this as well. I don't know. Then I have one div. Forgot about this as well because I don't know. Then I have input tag and some UL tag. These are the basic HTML tags. Then that's how body works. Then what is this which we kept aside? This is an Angular application. Okay, what we are doing, we are defining a variable for Angular application. This variable, from where it is coming up? This is coming from body tag. So this is how we are relating the high level stuff. So as a basic feature, when we start developing any Angular application, what we have to do is we have to define one index.html, then one app.js. Okay, these we can give any names, but these are the standards. Okay, what actually index.html will have? Index.html will have the libraries you are using in application. Okay, like a controllers. Let's see what is controllers and all. Okay, in application, and these are the external libraries, and controllers you are defining. This is also JS files, JavaScript files. A controllers you are defining in application, and CSS. That's all. That's it. So index will have all these three. Okay, then I'm giving, what I'm doing is I'm defining an index.html with all the components I want to use in this application, and I'm creating a body tag. Okay, then I'm giving a name, ng app. What is ng app? We'll see. Okay, I'm just giving a name. I'm just giving test. Okay, so this is an HTML page. Okay, and I'm just defining one variable to hold all this. Then what I'm saying, with this information create an app. That's what I'm saying. Where is this? Yeah, so I just included my library, and I'm just defining one HTML body, and I'm giving a name. For that name, what I have to do, I have to define an Angular module. Okay, I'm just giving a name here, and for that name it is providing me an Angular app module. Okay, now what is this variable? This variable can be used in wherever I want. This will hold all the third-party libraries I'm injecting and other stuff. So with this variable, I start creating the controllers. Okay, what is a controller? Controller is the one which acts as an intermediate between the model and the view. Okay, so how it works? This also we can cover it in this same example. Now, if you can see, we know what is ng app. Ng app is a thing which is defining, it's an Angular stuff. For that, what example we can consider is demo 1. Okay, let's remove every stuff in this. Okay, we'll start understanding what is ng app, because nothing else here. See, it is having one Angular library and a body tag and a div with one div, else ng app. So what actually it is doing here, I'm saying 1 plus 1 equals to expression of 1 plus 1. We didn't cover this before in this slide. Okay, now we'll try to cover this. Sorry, I just missed out. Okay, so where is this demo 1? See, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. How it got expression? Because I just wrote as is, right? It should display as is. Why it is not doing that? It is doing some operation on that. How HTML know to do an operation? Because it's an Angular thing. Why HTML know it's an Angular? Okay, let's see. I just removed ng app, and we'll see the output of this. It did its job because it's an HTML stuff. Whatever I wrote, it will display in that. Okay, I wrote this and it is displaying that. But when I did it's an ng app, means it's an Angular application. It is not doing the same thing. Angular start using this library. Sorry, HTML start using this library. Okay. See, you got 1 plus 1 equals 2. Because when it start seeing this, it knows it's an Angular app, so it has to be evaluated as per the standards from Angular. You understood, right? What is the basic use with an Angular app? So it's an Angular application. To define an Angular, to segregate it from the standard HTML, we are doing this. Then we have a controller concept here. What is this controller concept? What we are doing is we're just defining a shape controller. It's an this body, all the HTML stuff under this div should relate to the controller. Like, see, I am using, see, if you can see, there is a variable defined in this controller called users, and I am using the same variable here. Understood, right? So there could be n number of controllers in the same page. I can define shape controller 1, and I can where is this Okay, let it use in a proper way. I can define multiple controllers like this. Shape. I think, is it audible now? Sorry guys, I think there is a sudden drawback in my mind. Let me check. Please, anyone can confirm me, is it audible? Yeah. Sorry guys, sorry for that. Okay, let's continue the session. So where are we? We know, yeah, we start doing this multiple controllers, right? So we can define any number of controllers, and we can use any number of things. So I can define something here. Instead of this, I can call me I do this. I can do blah blah blah. I filter data. I'll use this here like this. Okay, what it will do? Which is this demo 4. Sorry. See, it's another controller and another page. What I wrote, like a test I can write for basic understanding. See, if you can see filter data, the same thing I have used here in different controller, and the same thing I have used in some other controller. If you can give some other name also, it's fine. www. I can define www here. So how controller is working, you can understand by this with this example. Controller is working as a two-way binding stuff, as an intermediate. I can say it's an intermediate between the view and the control, view and the model. What is model here? Model is this one, like an scope variable. Scope is acts as a model, and view is this, the HTML stuff, and the controller acts as an intermediate, so view between that. Okay, same way, scope also can work in the same way. Okay, scope acts as an interface between the view and the controller, which transmits the data from the controller to the view. I think you guys can understand. It's in short session, I can continue more, but this is how it works. Okay, so we have seen the filter concept, like how filters works in the application, and also we have seen the data binding, two-way binding stuff, and the directive stuff, then scope. So, but I think you guys have also get an idea like how this Angular stuff work. Like since you are defining this as an ng app, HTML knows this is an Angular application, but these directives are used in provided in Angular. Okay, that's how it works. Then let me see whether this app is up. Yeah, it's up. This is a single page application. Let it load. Initial load will be load, since it has to load everything into its content. Then what else we have? Yeah, scope. How scope works? I told you, like scope is something which holds the information as business information and transmit it between the controller and the view, and the scope value can be updated in the view or in the controller. Okay, this is the application which we deliver to Johnson & Johnson. Okay, how it was yeah, I'm again going back to the stuff, but it need you guys want to see this, because this is how we are really using the features of AngularJS. Okay, let's start from the directive again, because it's everyday too. I just want you guys to see this to understand the features and the functionality and real-time application usage, like real-time Angular usage. Okay, first of all, we have to see what's a single page application. If you can see, everything is loaded. Okay, all my controllers, CSS, external libraries, what I'm using in this application, everything is loaded into my page. Okay, so this allows me to do an offline work on to be more responsive. Everything happened here. Then one good concept of dependency injection. Yeah, see this. If you can see, it is providing a drag and drop. I'm doing a drag and drop where I want. How I achieve? This is not provided by the Angular. This is a third-party tool. I'm using AG for that, and I injected this functionality in AngularJS. Okay, so that's how it works. Then the routing concepts between multiple things, everything, it happens in this. Like there is a hiding show of one more directive which won't do hiding and all. Okay, that's how. Let me show you the services based stuff as well. Okay, now I told you there is a concept of directive. I have used this for features multiple places. See, this is the entire header which is common in all other components. Okay, so these are other 6 components which is having the same look and feel. So if I'm doing all other components, I don't want to redesign it from scratch. What I will do, I start using this directive, and I included the directive in other pages as well. So I just change the color code and icon. That's it. That application is up. And then the business logic will be different, but that's how it works. You got it right. So that's how directive concept is used in the real-time application. Why do I do show RM? Let's see and understand. Let's compare both. What are the user to components? And at the end of the session, let's see, everything is in. It has an icon. It has an icon, and it has the search functionality. It has a search function. Nothing I did. I just modify the color code and the icon. Everything is same. Okay. Since it has one, it has one. It's a list view. It's a list view. Okay. Everything is there. Same look and feel. What we have designed the application as reusable components, and which is highly possible with AngularJS. That's what I can say. So Yeah, let's see the usage of scope as well. Scope. So delete example. Yeah, scope I can show it here in the text box as well. Let's remove this. Let's see its basic example of scope. In this example only, we'll try to understand what is the uses of scope. Okay. Now, how by default, since see, let's try to understand from the code. I have a user of array and it has two sets of information there. But when I'm showing this here, it is showing only one. Why? Why it is not showing the second record? Because already in the text box Raja is there. Okay, that's why since it is a filtered information on the ng repeat, what it is doing, it is filtering the data. But by default, how Raja come up? Because I didn't enter anything. I just refreshing it. Then what? How it come up? And it is there in the controller. Like I just added the information in the controller, but not in the anywhere in this side, right? So that's how. Like let me try to comment this and try to execute this. See, Raja is not there, but both this time both come because filter is not done on top of that. Okay, what actually do you think? When a control is loaded, I am setting a filter data as Raja. What actually it is doing is a control is holding the control is modifying the scope variable, and the scope is reflecting the view. You got it right? So scope is the thing which acts as a glue between the controller and the view. Yeah, I know. Like in 1 hour session, you guys can't understand everything in one shot, but that's how it works. So scope is something which is doing both the stuff, like a controller, like each and everything. Suppose if you see a view as a HTML stuff is interacting with the scope and the controller as an intermediate interacting with the scope view and the controller, like it's MVC, correct? So that's how, like each and every component in MVC communicate with each other component, the other two components. That's how it works. So with this two-way binding, this is called like two-way binding, I can say. With this two-way binding stuff, each and every component acts as independent, communicating with other components. That's how very responsive, very fast. I think you understand the concept of scope, but in real-time classes, we'll start from the scratch. As in 1 hour session, I think it's a little bit faster, but in real-time session, we can go very slowly, and each and every example, like we start from scratch and all. Since we have to cover so many topics still, let's move on. So where's the PPT? Yeah. So we have gone through the scope. Before coming to the skeleton, let's see what we covered as an overall stuff. Okay. So let's, as a walkthrough again, we know, since we know some concepts of AngularJS, let's relate it from the beginning. So we know these two guys who invented this AngularJS as a framework, and what is the difference between framework and library? We know, like a library will be used in our code, and if you are using a framework, framework act as an interface where your code interact with the framework. Framework calls the library. That's how it works. So AngularJS is a framework where our HTML code interacts with the AngularJS components. So if you can see, filter is an AngularJS component. Okay, I'm using a filter component AngularJS, but it is internally using the wrapped services from the other JavaScript concepts. Okay, that's how it works. So I told you, like everything works in MVC in AngularJS. So it has done, it has taken the responsibility of binding this MVC, like a model view controller stuff. And we know what is MVC. Yeah, we didn't cover much of yeah, we what is directive, we need to know what is controller, but we didn't get time to cover this unit testing. Let's cover this in the real time classes. Okay, and we know to add the DOM manipulation, we can go with an Angular. That's one kind of advantage from that. And we know the reusability concept from the using directives. We can write two directives, a custom directives. What are custom directives? ng app, ng module, and other components like ng show and hide. Those are things which will take taken as an written directives. Custom directives, what you're defining like this. These are called custom directives. Okay. And we know what is dependency injection. Like a service, what we are going to look at. What are those called? Like in third-party services, I can inject into my application to use this. Like it's like a plug and play. I want to use something, I just plug into my module, I start using that. Single page, I know everything. Guys, like we are loading everything into a one page. That's called single page. Yeah, it gives me better performance and some issues with that. These are the high-level stuffs with these features. We know what is expression. We didn't cover the services. It's a good concept. I'll give a high level flow on that. We know filters. We know data binding. We know directives. We know scope. And what else we covered? We know dependency injection. Rest of things we didn't cover. We have to cover. These are like two data binding is like a two-way binding stuff with a controller on the view. Filters we have gone through. We know scope is actually acts as a glue between this controller and the view. Then the skeleton. Skeleton is something like we have to, as a framework, we should have some certain standard to follow, so that CSS has to define here, JS should be here, HTML should be here. That's how the skeleton should be. Okay. Now now it's already 10:10, right? It's good to move to Bootstrap. Okay. Let's see. Right now, still now, we have seen certain examples. See. Yeah, it's a good functionality from Angular, but how about the look and feel? Because if you can see, everything is an look and feel. It's looking good, but why not here? To get look and feel, we had to use some Bootstrap stuff, which is a defined stuff. Let's start with that. Where is it? Bootstrap web. Oh yeah. In this next 20 minutes, we'll try to see how to use using Bootstrap. We'll see like how to install the Bootstrap in your application, and then some basic usages with that. We'll try to see some basic demos. So, like, what is a Bootstrap and its use? The features from the Bootstrap. What is the problem with the Bootstrap JavaScript and the AngularJS? Both are JavaScripts, but what is the problem? And why should I use jQuery? See, then what is the solution coming up for that? Like, what is this UI Bootstrap? And yeah, what is this? Again, I can see like what is a Bootstrap and what is UI Bootstrap? It's a mess. Let's see what is the difference between that. Okay. See, Bootstrap is an open source as written here. It's a Java framework. But let's be in very honest, like some full text here. I can't read down these things. What is there is Bootstrap is something. When you start doing some application, let's see here. I'm taking this as my application. I did this, then I have to give some look and feel for that. Then what I have to do? I have to write some CSS for that to make you a good look and feel. Since it's a small application, I can start writing CSS and all. But how about such a real-time big applications? Okay, which will take 6 to 7 months to design that. Then to give a look and feel, it will take 1 more year. Then what is the solution for that? For that, we have a solution called Bootstrap, which is having a defined CSS in that. Okay, so when we start developing anything, then we have a predefined set of stuff which is given by the Bootstrap to include in our application. Then we got a good look and feel for that. But let's see what are the features provided by the Bootstrap. Speed development. As I said, since everything is ready, everything is good, I just use that. I just start eating that. That's it. So Bootstrap provides me a defined set of functionalities which I can use it in my application so that it is very easy to go on. Then what else? Then call responsive stuff. responsive. What is this responsive for? Responsive is something like when we minimize, like when the same application is used in smaller browsers, it should be responsive. Let's see what is that responsive in real time. I'll start showing you. Sorry, please. Okay, let it come here. Let's see. We can do. This is one kind of testing. See, my application is responsive in certain browsers as well. This is an iPad browser. You can see it here. It's an iPad Pro, iPad, and some phone. So it is responsive in every page. I think you guys understood what actually I'm saying. So DTC is not up. Let's see. Okay, it's not up. Okay, in this also you can understand like what is responsive. So how responsive works here? What actually we are doing? There is port views we have to capture. Like see, there are some standard port views defined in responsiveness with a certain resolutions. So when the screen resolution is so and so, certain port will trigger, and all the CSS in that port will get displayed here. So these are like MD8, like it will have some standards of CSS. MD4, it will have some standard of CSS. This is how, like there is a standards of CSS. You don't need to start doing it. So when you define this MD5, when the port view have that certain range of height and width, then this MD5 start triggering up, and your UI will have this look and feel. So you can have like if you start doing this mobile application, like there is an hybrid, you can consider this as it is compatible in everywhere in every device. As I show you, like it is working in iPad Pro, Nexus 5, whatever it is. That's how it works. Then customization. Yeah, I can customize my things as I want. So let's see this will I'll show you this how this customization works. Like see this icons, progress bars, paginations, pages, what are all this. I'll show you an example for that. Let's cover this in the demo, what customizations I can do. But what is the problem with using the AngularJS? There is certain problems, right? I show you, like there is something coming up. One basic thing we have to remember when doing AngularJS development is we should not include, or we try to avoid including jQuery in your Angular applications. Okay, so why so? As I told you, jQuery is a DOM manipulation stuff, but Angular is a two-way binding stuff. So since to avoid the drawbacks in Angular, jQuery we start using the Angular, right? So why need to use, and there are some failure cases, like certain components stop responding when you are combining and jQuery and Angular. Okay, so to avoid these breakdowns, what we'll do is like we suggest not to include jQuery in your applications. Okay, then yeah, that's all. Like as I told you, like injecting into your DOM will provide some issues in that. So certain components will stop not working in that. So what we will do? What we will do is, there is a solution provided by the Angular team. See, Bootstrap is there, but I can't use the Bootstrap functionality. Means I can't give the look and feel, right? Even I can provide, but I have to write tons of code. So that's not a correct idea. So what these guys will do, like they started providing an UI Bootstrap. So what UI Bootstrap is, it provides like an let's see what is the exact difference between that, but it eliminates the usage of BootstrapJS, because BootstrapJS built on top of an jQuery stuff. So since we have to use the BootstrapJS, what we have to do, we have to include the jQuery in your application. So that's a mess. So start using your Bootstrap. So we will get all the features which is provided the Bootstrap into your application, and so it eliminates the jQuery. So as a solution, they provide UI Bootstrap. The basic requirements here is the requirement of UI Bootstrap, unlike Bootstrap, or like you are no require of jQuery, requires Angular, yeah, because it integrates with Angular, and require Bootstrap CSS. I'll show you in the real-time example what we included in the application as well. Okay, let's compare, because we have UI Bootstrap and we have BootstrapJS. Correct. Why we need this? See, Bootstrap is an CSS framework. Okay, first of all, and it provides some Java components. As I told you, is with a written as JQuery plugins. So not to use a Bootstrap, I have to include JQuery as well. Okay, and if you include jQuery, there is an ambiguity between the term manipulations of Angular and jQuery and true bending between the Angular. So we have to avoid using that. Then Angular Bootstrap isn't. It's like again, it's Angular directives only. Like it defines on the directives. So what it will do is like it wraps the certain components. What are these components? I'll tell you. What see here in this line, it shows you like it's an Angular directive. Okay, and it wraps the jQuery components. So what is these 2 points? I'll show you. So as I told you, like if you are using Angular correctly, the Bootstrap components will not work. So we need to rewrite the components by using directives. Why it's again mess. So start using the Angular UI Bootstrap and inject your UI Bootstrap in your application and simply use the components what you got it from the Bootstrap as well. So that's it. Like we can start integrating the UI Bootstrap. So you understand what you got it is Bootstrap is a defined set of components which look and feel to your components what you define in Angular. Then there is a difference between the BootstrapJS and Angular UI Bootstrap. Why so? Because Bootstrap, what are the functionalities defined is wrapped by using jQuery plugins, but there is an ambiguity, right? We can't use that. So Angular people provide UI Bootstrap for us to include it. Let's see what are the examples we have. They are very interesting, guys. It's very amazing. Oh, sorry, I went wrong. Bootstrap demos. Let's see what are the libraries I use. I use Angular. As I said, I need AngularJS. Then Angular Animate for the animation stuff, Santize, and UI Bootstrap. Okay, these are things I used. Then what I use, I just call it. Hey, I got 3 things. What is this? I got an alert. I got a green alert, and this is a custom alert. What are all these 3? See, generally when we are doing some certain applications, I just want to show some error message, like my REST call got failed. I have to show an error message to the user. For that, I'll use this. Then I got success response from the REST call. I'll show this. Then I don't want. I just want to show some other alerts, like not for the success and failure. I have some other alerts to the user. I'll use this. I can use my custom stuff, and I can add n number of like these are like I'm using this. Sorry guys. So that's how got it implemented. Let's see the code. As we just included the libraries into our application. Since I didn't get time, I didn't download this. I have CSS as well. So I have a library and have CSS. Then we have a template and we just call it. Let's see in the code what actually we are doing. So what we are doing, it's an directive. We told like in the definition of UI Bootstrap, it's an Angular directive. See, it's an Angular directive. ng control I'll show you right in the when we are going to the Angular concepts. Like that, if we have a directive here, which is an customized directive, and it's customized in the sense like it's an Angular directive, which is customized by UI Bootstrap. I think I know like it's somehow messy, but we'll see what exactly it is in the coming concepts. Okay. I'll try to explain you one example. Let's see the other similar things. Okay, what we did here. Okay, this also helps you understanding the try to relate the Angular concepts what we come up with the Angular concepts. Okay, now what we did, yeah, we have an Angular component. Okay, then what we have given a name for this Angular module. We have injected. This is called dependency injection. I know. Don't try to understand everything in one shot. Since we are covering everything in 1.5 hour, when we are coming in the real-time sessions, we'll come to this at the end of the classes. So by the time you are having a complete picture of this. So and as of now, it's somehow messy, but try to understand a little bit so that you will understand the futures of AngularJS, how easy it is. Okay, if you start writing this, you can achieve this functionality in 5 minutes. That's how I can assure you at the end of the classes. So what we have an Angular module. We have ng animate. Ng animate is an module name what we injected in, see, Angular ng animate we are including, right? Come on. Ng-animate is a directive, right? Both are same. See, it's an ng-animate stuff. We try to cover from the beginning. See, ng-animate is the class name for that. So we are having class name and we are injecting that dependency in the module. So this module have animation feature. Similarly, ng-sanitize. ng-sanitize we included here and we are including it here. Then we have bootstrap. We are including here and we are means what is this? We are loading the module into a browser. Then we are injecting the module into your application. If you load the module here and if you didn't define that module here, you won't get feature into your application. It is there in your browser, but it is not in your application. That's what it differs. Okay. So we are loading and we are including. Now Angular is loaded with all the components what we needed. Then what we did? Then we define one controller and forget about the syntax because these syntaxes and all we'll get it in the real client classes. We'll learn the syntaxes, everything. But right now we define a controller, things like that. Then we define one variable with that array. Okay, this variable is having an array of 2 sets. So what we are doing then, what is this alert, add alert, close alert, we'll see in the application. What we have right now, we have a controller with an array variable. An array is having 2 variables. Okay, what is having? It is having a type of danger and a type as success. Got it, right? So let's see. Let's try to open the index.html as well. No, it's the same thing what we see in there. Okay. Ng repeat, ng URL, yeah. Okay, understood. So what it do is, so it start what it just loaded the HTML into your body. What you wrote it, like what are the IDs you displayed it, right? So it start loading the content in your application. Let's show you for okay. Okay, if you can see, it's in ng repeat first of all. Means ng repeat repeats to the array of content. So what we have content? We have a content of array. Where is this? Let me try to get it here. Okay. So what we have array, type danger and type success. Let's see on load what we have. We have only 2. See, and we'll see about this as well. Okay, now we have an array of 2 loaded. Then what else we have? Just a minute guys, I'm in a call, just give me some time. Okay, now the content is loaded, but see how it got colored because we just loaded the message, right? Yeah, it is having a message. So the same thing it got displayed. See, alerts dot message is displayed, right? Alerts dot message. So alerts of in alerts means it is getting each alert in alerts. So it will have first record in alerts. Alerts dot message means first record in this set. This message will get displayed here. But how it got the color code? What you're doing is we are just defining the class, ng class, what type of color code you have to define. That depends upon the type we are selecting here. So what we are saying is get the type. What the type? See, generally what is this line is we are just getting the color code. If it is nothing defined, get the warning. Else get the type what is defined. Or else we can simply define everything as danger. As simple as this. Okay, let's remove everything. I hope this works. directory. Add to view single quotes, I believe. See, we just define the class. That's it. That's how it works. Like we are dynamically setting according to the array what we defined here. Got it? That's a syntax. Like it's a logical syntax. That's it. Nothing as a standard syntax. We're just letting the class of the div content dynamically. That's what all over. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. So okay. So yeah, so it is displaying the alerts according to the message and the type of message. It's very simple. Now we have two more functions. Like see, one more is like an API alert, right? This is like because of the template what we wrote here. If you start closing, remove this div, it won't display as well. Because I don't want to make it more complicated. Let's come up with the basic. Since I reverted, it got properly. Then what else we have? We have a close stuff. We're just closing the ID. Closing is nothing like we're just splitting it, splicing it from the array. That's it. Nothing else it is doing. So it is coming here and just splicing it. See, from the index means it is just removing it from the array. As simple as this. Adding means we are just inserting some data into the array. That's how. So it will display the ng repeat and it will get the content loaded. So yeah, technically when you see in the application, like see, I'm just clicking it, it's gone. From the front end, high level, like it is everything. If you want to write the same content manually, it will take at least 2 hours. But since it is there, I can write it in 1 minute. So most of the code stuff, like I can build the application very fast. So let's see some other demos as well. What are the features? Yeah, this is one more beautiful function. See, I'm just making a pop-up to add the selected content or whatever it is. Okay, mode selected. I can get a large model for that. I can get a small model, very small model, or I can do some other stuff. Then I can disable the animation. Like, see, there is no animation now. I can get it animated, or I can do it non-animated. Same thing will come in animation. So why these models are there for like real time. What we'll do is we'll define some common service for modeling to take the confirmation from the users. Like this, when I'm doing a modification, I'll just do an update. This time I'm using it. Like I just want to take the user confirmation. So as is like. I think you guys understood. Okay. There are multiple ways. I'll just show you one small example where we are using that. Then what else we have? Pagination stuff. See, okay, count got increased. Page 7, page 6. That's how. Then we have multiple changes. Like I can go with multiple kinds of pagination. Go to the first, go to the last first, or go by record, something like that, page by page, okay, something like that, or set to some page number by default. These are multiple as per the user request, but in our application we are not doing that. We are doing lazy loading for that. Okay, so that is one kind of example. Then yeah, progress bar. To see, like there are multiple, like if it is animated, see it is like a sliding slightly, it's like an animated PDF, progress bar. Initially we start using the same progress bar in our tiles mode, you can see here, but as per the wireframe changed, we start using different stuff. And initially we implement the same stuff here. It's very easy. This is also very, I just want to I'll show you as well. Let's take one small stuff and close it off the session. Come up. There are so many things here. Just file it out. Let's take a small thing and delete rest. This also I don't want. Okay, let's see. I just kept 3 only. Okay, if you can see, one is static. It don't have any animation, like any animation in color code. It is having stripped, but it is not animating. It is stripped and animating. It depends upon your choice and other stuff. So what is there? It's a directive. See, it's an HTML tag. First of all, it's a directive from Angular. Okay, and you're just giving a value. According to this value, it will get updated. If I keep 100, it will load 100%. See how easy is this? And then strip means I just want to see some stripes on that in the class, and value some I just want to give some 50. Same thing I'm just updating here as well to show in the progress bar 50% of the data loaded. I just want to keep some 49 here. You can keep both are different, but I'm just showing this to make it stable. See 49 it got displayed. 49 is getting displayed because of the value I'm setting it here in between. Okay, if we can keep 100 also, it will display. But still it is 49 only. You understood, right? So it's very simple to, I can include it wherever I want, but everything is still predefined. I can see at the end, I can show you. Will you believe me, like with this line I got everything. I didn't do anything. I just got a progress bar. What I did, I didn't do nothing. What in real time what I'll do is like I got some I'm just uploading some file according to that packages are defined multi-part accordingly. Then I'll packets uploaded. I split the file into multi-part and I'll according to the package uploaded I'll update this thing as well. Once all packages are uploaded, it will show display here. I'm just saying some small example. So that's how it works. So that's how, guys. Since it's a very short session to cover multiple topics, I might be a little bit fast, but in real time I think it would be very we'll go with each and every step, each and every line what we understood. So if you have any doubts, just ping me up, or you can update me. Then you can reach out with Kratoes as well for any queries. And this is the curriculum we are going to cover up. Like detail again, we'll go through each and every concept in MVC with regards to the Angular. And since we didn't get time, we missed a very beautiful concept of services. Inheritance, yeah, we missed the inheritance concept as well. We covered the dependency injection. Routes, awesome. Since it's a single page application, how we are navigating with multiple HTML, because we are not doing any other stuff, right? Everything is loaded in single page again. That this can be achieved with routes, nested routes, and directives. Nice concepts. Then custom directives, how we can define the custom directives, I'll show you. Then third-party modules like drag and drop, how we can get it. Third-party modules, we'll see one real-time users for that, along with the routing and UI routing, how it differs with the class 3. Then we'll go to a complete detail with the Bootstrap integration with Angular with some examples as well. Then we'll say the unit testing. It's a beautiful concept with a unit testing which is provided with Angular. So we have a stable application across the systems. Then we'll see a real-time project discussion on that. So for your queries, just reach out to Kratoes on that. So yeah, now we are very much we'll see why we want Kratoes. The thing is, they will conduct some real-time sessions with an experts. Like, see, we are into real-time project, right? So we know where are the concepts to be captured. Like, see, if you see the concept of AngularJS, which is providing a drag and drop. If you are going with any training center and all, I don't think so they will cover these concepts. But since we know like actual requirements, we used to talk with the clients every day. We know the expectations from the client, what they want to achieve with multiple requirements. So we know how to interact with the modules according to the user requirements. So how to club the concepts with their existing standard concepts from the Angular, because other modules we can't relate it in outside. So Kratoes try to get the real-time experts so that we can train you, so that you know the basic expectation from the client. So once you launch into the market, you are very aware of that, what you know, what you have to do. So also they provide a 24/7 support on that. So whenever you have doubt or any clarifications, just reach out call center or customer care from the Kratoes. They will take care of you guys. Then they will provide a lifetime support on the course materials, what you're going for carry forward. and also an industry recognition certificates, so that you got a certification from these guys, so that you can use that wherever you want, because these guys are going to provide an training to Infosys, Flipkart, Wipro, high level MNCs. So once you got a certificate from this, they already know that you got trained from them. So you don't need to give, they don't need to give any training to you. So you got easily replaced. So because company want to see who are already trained, they don't want to get trained they want to hire people and get training. Means it's like lagging. They can invest you, but they can't invest your time on that. So you already trained means you will get easy get through with the companies. So you can reach out these guys anytime. With this, anyway, they will get back to you after this. So for anything, just for registration, for payments, everything, you can contact Kratoes. Thank you guys. Catch you soon. Have a good day. Good night.